Hello everyone, welcome to another Green Dragons Gaming Club. Without us, they'd never feel like winners. Without them, we could look so good. So again, I know it's been a while and I'm going bam, 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 bam with these battle reports because I've got the games in, I just haven't put them up, and I greatly do apologize. That's going to be changing. The reason why is we're moving out of the basement, we're going back to the stores on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and again, I want to give a shout out to the store in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. Same store, same town where they filmed the movie The Blob with Steve McQueen. And the name of the store is called Gamers Haven. They have computer games. They're building up their tabletop games. They've got the Magic and all that. Obviously, I'm bringing Ninth Age. I'm trying to grow our Ninth Age. So again, I ask anyone who's watching that, what are you doing to try to grow Ninth Age in your area? Because to me, the rules and everything else, they're solid. I mean, yeah, they're being worked on. And, you know, some things get hit with a nerf bat, some things get a slight buff here or there. But it's still work in progress, and we're trying. But regardless, it's a fun game. Just relax and enjoy the game. Enjoy the person across from you for what it is, and the game that you have there in front of you as well. Because again, that's the whole point. And what are you trying to do to build the community? Because again, that's why I'm doing this. I mean, that's the whole name of the game is build the tabletop gaming community. So with that said, we're getting ready to go out to Colonial Carnage, and it's a team tournament. So I'm trying to turn around. I was doing some modifications to my list beforehand, before we had to turn around and get it submitted, and playing one of my teammates as well, gentleman I've known for almost 10 years now. Awesome guy. His name's Chris, not Christmas, Chris Mack, and he's going to be playing as Dread Elves. And he's actually one of my teammates bringing that down. On the boards, Red Fang, and of course I'm playing the Kingdom, SirMC, and because the Kingdom of Equitane is too long. So the Kingdom. With that said, we're playing 4,500 points. It's version 2.0. Trying to speed up my intros and not be on any soapboxes right now. So this is, I'm going to warn everyone ahead of time. This is going to be a short battle report. Reason why is I end up getting sick at Chris's house. I wish I could say it was alcohol, but we got far enough in the game with enough that happened. Unfortunately, I don't have that few final picks, but I can go through as to what would have eventually happened and what the result was at this point in time. So, but like I said, for me personally, it was not a pretty night. Not this game, but oh my God, I felt I've never been so embarrassed. But for the game-wise, as you can tell, I have a little bit more paint on some of those models, and even though some of the horses still don't have heads, and other horses still don't have the riders on them because they're not sticking right now. And meanwhile, Chris has a very lovely painted army. Yeah, I'm jealous. And I can't say anything because he's married with kids and everything else, so comparatively, I have no excuse. Going from my list again, I've got the aspirants on the lower right. I've got my mounted yeomen. Behind them, I have my Knights of the Quest. Next to them, I have a huge bus of Knights of the Realm. Then I've got my Knights of the Forlorn. In between the Forlorn and the Realm, I have my Peasants. I've got my other unit of Fast Cav, and I have my two Scorpions up there on the hill, where he's got a hunting chariot, he's got dark riders on that one flank, he's got a Hydra, he's got a big brick of spears with the altar, he's got auxiliaries, he's got dread judges, they are the law. He's got a Kraken, he's got another unit of auxiliaries, and he's got another unit of the Dread Knights. So we started going drop, and finally, I turn around, I looked at where he was going to be putting things on the board. I'm like, okay, I'm going to drop for first turn. He goes, oh, you can do that now? I'm like, yep, I can fully do that. I do not have to turn around and choose when to turn around and pray until it's time to roll the dice. So even regardless, and here's the one thing is even regardless of whether or not you roll the dice or not, because it's automatically you're going to get first turn, you still technically roll the dice. So at that point in time, I just dropped the rest of my army. I have a good idea as to where he's going to be because he had most of his stuff down. At that point, he was up to like 4 drops. And so I had to roll like a 1 not to get first turn, 1 or 2. And then he had to roll a 6. But with that said, looking at where things were, I felt confident. So he ended up dropping, and I looked at him like, how much AP3 do you have in your army? He goes through this AP3 spell. These guys have naturally AP3. Here's an AP4. If I use this spell here, they become AP3 on the charge. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pray. So it becomes a straight up dice roll. And unfortunately, he beat me with the dice roll. So, with that said, here's how the board looks after turn 1. He has no charges to declare. And it was standard deployment, hold center. So again, it just says mark the center. And he's using the Dread Knights. He moved out the auxiliaries. He moved the Dread Knights to turn around and basically control that flank. And honestly, if they are able to turn around and he's able to get the Yeoman and get those that unit of Knights, they easily pay for themselves. And then he can turn around and because of where my Knights are on the bottom right, he actually has the opportunity to turn around and just ignore them, keep going around, and then harass my flank. The other flank I'm not worried about. Like, yeah, he's got a hunting chariot. Yeah, he's got some fast cav. I got my own fast cav over there. I'm not concerned. And over there, that's the way his center looks. So during his magic phase, he turns around and kills 5 peasants. I'm like, they're peasants. They're meant to die. They come back. Shooting phase, he kills 1 more. Now here, he turned around and he killed 2 of my mounted yeomen. And because of that, I failed my panic test. I needed a 6. I failed, and they went right off the board. As you can tell, I rolled really high for their flee, and bye-bye. See you later. And that there changed things, but not really. I'm not overly concerned because honestly, all right, I lost my mounted yeoman at this game. There are 120 points. Okay, he takes out my bolt throwers, my scorpions. Okay, they're 250 total for the 2 of them. I can live with that because that's only 380 points, and there's nothing over there because of how his army is that I care about. Because go ahead, charge your hunting chariot into the Knights of Forlorn. They'll make mincemeat out of that thing. Okay, you may get a couple. They have a 5-up ward save. You're not going against my BSB, and I'll have steadfast. Hit me with the fast cav, even in the rear. There will be nothing left of that unit by the time I'm done with it, so you won't get that bonus. If you decide to go after the Knights, again, I'm just not worried. If anything else, just to go back a pick, or a few picks, it's those Knights going around, and we're treating that like a building or an impassable piece of terrain. Coming around the other flank that I'm concerned with, but at the same time, going up against the Knights of the Quest, not as concerned. Because the Knights of the Quest, to me, have proven that they can turn around and hold their own. So here's how the board looks now. Let me have a sec. So now it's my turn. And I go ahead. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so this is my movement. I turn around, I get a buff up on my peasants there. So I want to say that they're now T6. So I'm like, go ahead, charge them. They're peasants, and they're not going to run. My knights, I kind of just hovered where they were. And that was it. I moved up the Knights of Forlorn, and I moved up the other knights, and I moved my yeoman back. because I was going to have another task for them. Bolt throwers turn around and actually took off 2 knights. I only removed 1 model there, but they ended up killing 1 more. And so that brings them down to 3. And then the rest of the shooting, I turned around and killed one of the Dread Judges. So I'm like, I'm happy with that. I can gladly live with that. And that was that. So now during the top of the next turn, and by the way, I will be doing, I was trying to, we started at like, what time I got there? I got there, I want to say at like 9-ish, so we were trying to just play quick. I'm going to start doing a better job with these pictures. I'm saying that now. You'll see it in my next battle report. And again, I learned a lot from Gene this last time. He turned around, he killed 1, just 1 of my Knights of Forlorn, and he put 1 wound on my bolt thrower, and that was it. You know, all hunky-dory. So now during my turn, so this is now turn 3, I got the charge, or turn 1, no, this is bottom of 2. I turned around, I got the charge. It was just above average. I needed 10, and I got a guy with the errants. Or no, I think I had to do a frenzy check on that. No, I needed 10. It was just beyond far. And I did actually charge the Dread Judges with the big bus of Knights, because I have that banner last charge in there. He fled with them, and we actually mathed it out afterwards. It was kind of a good call to flee, because that would have been, even with a 6-up ward save, that's still like 9 dead just from impact hits, and then he has to turn around and deal with probably a buffed up unit of Knights. So it probably was a good call on his part, and I failed my charge with the quest into the Kraken. Hey, bad luck. However, I do turn around and move those mounted yeomen in front of the Kraken to turn around and go ahead and chaff him up. And as you can see, one of his mistakes, so unfortunately I took this picture after I'd already declared my charges, not the end of his movement phase. Let's see, did I? All right, so here, which was during my last turn, what he did here is he moved his judges up and he moved his spears up, which locked the auxiliaries back where they could see and shoot, but they couldn't advance at that point in time. So part of that is he wants to try to use them as chaff, and it's preventing him from doing so. So he chaffed himself up. So to turn around and take advantage of that, I charged him with the peasants, because they're peasants. What do I care? Again, the Knights of the Quest turn around, or not, the Knight Aspirants turn around and get in that charge on that other flank. And there's that. I'm now down to 4 Knights. After he's done chopping them up, I'm down to 3 Knights, which still counts as rank though. And I kill like 1 or 2 more of his Knights. And we'll get to that. So there's that charge. And I get a buff onto the Knights of Forlorn, so now they're T6, okay, because I got up Oaken Throne and I got Stone Skin off on them. And I also turn around and he stopped the Healing Waters, which was a 4-up regen. So I'm like, all right, well, I got extra dice left. Hey, look, I got Summer Growth. Yeah, let's go ahead, let's get back 6 more peasants. And lo and behold, that unit is now back up to full strength. And now that fully chaffs his unit of spears unless his archers are able to do a lot of wounds, which they mathematically they shouldn't be able to do. So here's another picture of that, and as you can see there's my unit mounted yeoman chaffing up his Kraken. During my shooting phase, I put 2 wounds onto his hunting chariots, and now that thing's half dead. Definitely loses combat ability, so he's going to go for a bow, but that big bow that it has, but because I don't have no monsters or anything like that, it doesn't scare me. Over here, that infantry, that combat, as I said, I lost a knight. He lost more than me, but they broke, they ran, and they got ran down. So now all of a sudden, that brick of aspirants are in his flank. I've got him chaffed. I've got the questing knights coming up. It's just not looking great for him currently. So at this point, I won't lie, my stomach started rumbling, and I'm like, I'll be back. And I was just, we had to call the game. I got sick. Okay. But we can't, but like the quick recap as to what happened is he fled with his dread judges. So they fled from their charge, and they were still within range of the peasants who had moved up. So they charged, pushed them back even further. So they're about maybe an inch from the board edge. And I redirected into the auxiliaries there, and he's like, yeah, no matter what, I can't wheel around it. I'm not going to turn around and go into your T6 monster killers with a Hydra, because that's just silly. Even with stomps, even with my 7 attacks, even with my breath weapon, you're T6, and you're hitting me with +1, and you're going to be wounding me on 3s. So you're hitting me on 3s, you're wounding me on 3s, and you have a 5-up ward versus my 4-up regen, and you have armor. Odds are actually in your favor. Like, you're absolutely right. That's a bad call, and I could use it as chaff and try to save my spears. But if I do that, you're then just going to turn around and charge into my into him with your busted knights. You're going to do the impact hits. So both your units and knights are going to turn around and probably make mincemeat. You're going to keep me chaff up, or if I kill your chaff with my Kraken, then you're going to, or if you flee and I make it into combat with your Kraken, you're going to stick. You're going to bring them back, and then you're going to charge in with the other unit, Brick and Knight. You can then chaff me up with your Forlorn. And no matter what, I had him on the ropes at that point in time. So the end result of this game is a victory for the kingdom. Obviously, I can't tell, point-wise what would have occurred, but it wasn't the best matchup, and it's that had the Knights not had an impact banner, that charge into the judges goes in judges' favor. As soon as you start including impact, so as soon as you have chariots, as soon as you have ogres, as soon as you have anything that's going to be able to do those automatic hits, I-10, Vengeance Seekers, I-10s, okay, something that's going to be going before those judges, killing those wounds, or if you're shooting them like you're playing a gun line, you're taking them out in droves from a gun line, that's the judges. I mean, they're hand-to-hand monsters. They weapon skill 5 with hatred, with lethal strike, strength 6, 6-up ward if you have an altar. So it's a good, solid unit. I love that unit. I hate playing against it, but at the same time, that's how you need to turn around and beat it up. So the MVPs for me are going to be aspirants, and for the Dread Elves, it's going to be Dark Riders. So here's the reason why. Is going back to this picture. So the Dark Riders turn around, starting with Dread Elves, is they shot off my 1 unit of mounted yeomen, and that there opened up that flank, and then they're going to just go straight down the line and clear off my other 2 war machines. Okay, so that's going to be 130 plus 250 is 380. Okay, or 120 plus 250 is 370. All right, 370 points, hands down, and that's it. Now, the MVPs are Knight Aspirants. The reason why is I turn around, I got that flank, solidified that flank so he couldn't come around with his unit. I beat up that unit. I don't care about his auxiliaries at this point in time. And now they can go into the flank of the Hydra. They can go in, they can just do exactly what he had wanted to do, but now I'm able to turn around and do it. So it definitely was a gamble on my part, which paid off. Very easily could have gone the other way. It just didn't. And that's the way the dice go. And that's it. Any questions, concerns, always feel free to post. And until next time, Happy gaming!